What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Ballcap Sports. Today we are going to be diving into the designated hitter. It is the final position on the field in the lineup that we have not covered. If you are maybe just finding this video for the first time, we've covered catcher, first base, second base, short, third, starting pitcher, relief pitcher, the outfield positions. We've covered it all. DH is the final position. So welcome to the channel for that video. Make sure to hit the like. If this is one of your favorite times of the year, it is one of my favorite times of the year. And subscribe if you're new. If you're just finding the channel for the first time, make sure to subscribe. Stay close to the channel. I'm pumping out what I think a ton of content. And if baseball is your thing, this is a great place for you to be. So I think you'll want to subscribe, hit the alerts, come back for more of the baseball content. And we're building a community here. Ballcap Sports Nation. Love my Ballcap Sports Nation. Doing a great job live in the chats. We are live again today. Right off the bat, we have Steve with a $20 donation to the channel. Thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate that. I want to get to that. Steve, okay, the channel is starting to take off. We can all smell what the Rock is cooking. Love the show. Or show your love and represent peace and love to the subscribers. So, Steve, thank you for the support there. That is greatly appreciated. From Steve Mammon as he gets us off and running here on a Thursday. Apologize, was not able to do the live show yesterday. Had some house closing things going on, and that's all done now. And also was doing the whole COVID test thing, and thankfully that thing came back negative. So we are COVID free and happy to be that way. So again, thank you for everybody that is here live right off the bat. Denzen, Natalie, Mark, Apple Plays, Baseball Domain, CC Gaming, Chelston, Hayden. Thank you guys for being here early. Emmanuel, yes, Albert Pujols is starting to look like Santa Claus. That is funny. Albert Pujols is starting to show his age around his waist. So we're going to dive into DH. And as we have always done, we will start out with the teams that need a designated hitter. And to no surprise, essentially, it's the entire National League. For the most part, looking at all of the teams in the American League, there is no real need. But in the National League, if they're going to get the DH next year, it's the whole league. Now, there are some teams that can slide some players, and getting a DH will provide some relief for areas where they have an overload at maybe first base or in the outfield. But for the most part, primarily, everybody needs the DH. Exactly, Apple Plays. This is assuming the DH goes to the NL. Because I'll be honest with you, the players that we're going to talk about, there's maybe one or two that have a job next year if we only have the American League with the DH again. Freddie Ortiz just subscribed. Freddie, welcome to Ballcap Nation. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to our community. And you guys will notice a different setup today. Things are a little kooky. With the COVID thing going around, in the house, my wife does have COVID. She's quarantining upstairs. The kids are home. Is the short of the story. The kids are home, so I cannot be down in the regular recording area. I'm up in the dining room situation. So that's why we have a different scene behind me today. So, and then maybe the same way tomorrow too. As long as the kids are home, I got to be at least within earshot. So anyway, that's it. So the DH, let's get back to that. So pretty much the National League, everybody that is in the National League is going to need to either shift their fourth outfielder or their second first baseman or their super utility guy to DH. But there's also some good DHs that are out there. Again, we're looking at the list. In my opinion, we're looking at minor league deals or invitations to spring training from most of these guys, except Nelson Cruz. Albert Pujols probably. Albert Pujols might not find a job if there's no NLDH. Listen, he had a few good moments with the Dodgers, but I don't know what's going to happen there. If you have the DH in the National League, then pretty much all of these guys have an opportunity to find a job. We know Nelson Cruz will have a job no matter what. He'll find a spot either in the AL or the NL. But Pujols could really benefit from it if Yoenis Cespedes or Edwin Encarnacion want to have a comeback. They didn't play. Cespedes started last year, right? I think it was last year, and then he didn't. We're going to take a look at his player card in just a minute. But if Cespedes and Encarnacion want to make a comeback, if Derek Dietrich wants to get back into a major league job, the DH needs to come to the National League. If Jose Martinez wants to find an everyday gig, if Chris Martinez wants an everyday gig, we might need the National League to adopt the DH, which we should know. We should know relatively soon. You've got the deadline coming up, and they should figure it out. Nelson Cruz, number one, exactly. He is the main guy. With JD Martinez picking up his option, JD Martinez, off the board. But Martinez was the other DH heading into this, where if he did not opt in, if he didn't take his player option, he would have been on this list. So we focus on Cruz. Let's take a look at some of the big players. Again, we could start with Nelson Cruz, taking a look at his numbers for his career. And, he is amazingly Nelson Cruz, finding the fountain of youth. Doesn't seem to be showing his age at all with what he did last year. Was a valuable pickup for the Rays last year. I'm sorry. I'm having a technology issue. Okay, 32 home runs altogether, 16 home runs in 2020. So turning 40 meant nothing to him. He'll be entering his age 41 season. So where does it go? I honestly think that we're not seeing any regression from Nelson Cruz. So he'll probably get another 1-year deal somewhere, and he'll produce. I think you know what you're going to get from Nelson Cruz. He's a 30-homer guy. His batting average last year was .265, but you look at the majority of every year except 2018. If we're looking from 2015 on, he was right there, right around 300. So he's a 900 OPS guy. We know we're getting good things from Nelson Cruz. So we get to Davey Boy. Jose Bautista is trying to be a pitcher. Good morning, Gavin. Good to see you in. Thank you for hopping in here. Let's get to the next DH. Again, I got to think he's the DH, and it's Albert Pujols. I don't see a world. I just don't see an opportunity for him to find a first base gig anywhere at this point in his career. He'll be platooning. The DH spot would really be the best for him. With the Dodgers, he did okay. 85 games with LA, 759 OPS, 12 home runs in 204 plate appearances. So Albert Pujols did all right with the Dodgers, but he will be turning 42. And if he wants to find another gig, we're going to talk about it. I think there's really one fit for him moving forward. We're going to get into it, and it would have to be if the NL has the DH. I think you guys probably know where I'm thinking that one fit would be for Pujols. And again, the DH is crucial for something like that. Exactly, Desmond. That's exactly the deal. And if there's no DH, it doesn't make sense. So let's go. Let's talk about Jays fans. We all have fond memories of Edwin Encarnacion. Gavin, yeah, right on, exactly. We're gonna pull up the player board. It'll be a quick one today because it's just DH and it's a few players. But yeah, that's the thinking. So Edwin is an interesting bird, and I say that because you get his whole parrot thing. But Edwin wanted to have a shot at playing last year. There just were no jobs. With the NL not bringing the DH back, he did not have an opportunity. Says he wants to get to 500 home runs. Does he have a shot at that? I don't know. Last year would have been his age 38 season. He will be entering his age 39 season if he is able to make a comeback. I do think if the National League gets the DH, I think he can find a job. But that'll be important. He did not finish off well. Okay, 2020 with the White Sox, 10 home runs. That's okay. But a 157 batting average was unacceptable. So he's got to get that turned around. He's got to get back up to that 240 level where he had been the last couple of years, because then that OPS can get up above 800. So Edwin's got to get that back, and you hope that he was able to stay in shape, stay focused, and try to get an opportunity in 2021. So we get, and yeah, Edwin did do well. Edwin did well with the Yankees. Emmanuel, 13 homers in 44 games, a 249 batting average. Listen, I think that's what Edwin can be. I just hate that he'll be judged off of what he did in 2020. And it's really not fair to judge anybody on what they did in 2020. Chelston, I don't know if the Jays are the fit, because right now, unless they make a trade and send one of those outfielders away, they don't have room for him. And Edwin, I don't think will go to Toronto to maybe play. I think there could be an opportunity for him to actually have a job. But if the Jays do end up trading away Gurriel or Grichuk, then you have all of a sudden that DH spot opens up for the Blue Jays, and you could see an Edwin reunion tour. But there something has to happen first. The other player that I'm really fascinated about maybe having an opportunity to come back, again, if the National League gets the DH, is Yoenis Cespedes. There's no room for him in the American League. I don't think anyone takes a try on him. He played 8 games in 2020. He did not play in 2021. Would he play in 2022? He'll only be 36. I know injuries have been a problem for him. That's why he needs a DH. Signing that deal with the Mets was insane. He was going to have to play in the field. But that was a terrible move by him. He needs to be in a DH role. That's where Yoenis Cespedes needs to be. Designated hitter. Boom. So the National League adopts it, he can find a job. If the National League does not adopt the DH. And most people believe that they will. Pardon me. So if the DH goes to the NL, Cespedes has a job. If the NL does not, nothing for Cespedes. So you have to watch. You see what happens with him. Good morning, Jason. So we take a look at some of the names, and we take a look at some of the key big position players. There's also, we could do a whole show on players that might make a comeback. Edwin one, Cespedes another one. Puig, can Puig find a job back in baseball? He's not necessarily a DH. I think he could play in the outfield for somebody. So we don't talk about Yasiel Puig in this show because Puig could slide into an outfield role. Emmanuel, best job in the world, just go hit. Go hit, and in between at-bats, watch the video. Yeah, exactly. So where could these guys go? Again, we're looking at National League teams. Let's pull up the player board. It is not as deep as what we've been doing, right? Because we don't have as many players. We've got half the players that we have been doing. But really, let's start off. Let's go right to the big guy, Nelson Cruz. Where would you see Nelson Cruz? I think there are a ton of fits. I think depending on what happens with the Braves and their pursuit of Rosario and Soler, what happens with Ozuna, I think the Braves could get in on the mix for Nelson Cruz. I think Milwaukee could be in the mix. I think any National League team that is in a win-now mode could go for Nelson Cruz. The Braves, the Mets, the Phillies, the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Dodgers, the Giants, the Padres could all go for Nelson Cruz. Comment where you think he's going to go. I'm going to give you where I think Nelson Cruz winds up. Todd Frazier's retiring, I'm pretty sure, Mile High. I'm pretty sure I saw that Todd Frazier's not going to play. I'm going to put Nelson Cruz. Mile High, you got him going to the Mariners. It's an interesting idea. I think the Brewers are in a mode where they need to improve that offense, and they know they need to improve that offense. So I'm going to put Nelson Cruz on the Brewers because of the need to bolster that offense. They've got the pitching. They need the offense. Obviously, Al Garcia opted out, so he could be gone. So it just feels like it's a good fit for the Milwaukee Brewers. San Francisco could, listen, again, any of those National League teams that are trying to win now could make it work. Let's go Albert Pujols. Where do you see Pujols landing? I think we've sort of already got to it a minute ago, but Albert Pujols, in my opinion, feels like a Cardinal. DH only. If the National League doesn't get the DH, I think there's a good chance Albert Pujols retires. But if you're with me, let me know about Pujols and the Cardinals. It just feels like the move. Reunion tour, run it back, DH, get, 300-400 at bats as the DH with the Cardinals, finish on a good note. Hit your last home run with the Cardinals. That's the way to go. And if they don't have the DH, I think he retires. You've got Goldschmidt there. There's no reason to mess around with Pujols any other way. So I think he ends up back. With the Cardinals. Mitch Moreland, lefty bat. Thinking about a player, Gavin. Yeah, I agree with you. Only place you should go. Mitch Moreland is next. He's intriguing. He's got pop. You got to think of a team that is looking for a DH and could use him at first base because he doesn't have to be chained to the DH role. So Mitch Moreland, thinking about a team that also could maybe use him at first base and then could use him at DH. Thinking about teams that have an opening. I like the Phillies. You guys let me know what you think. I think the Phillies could take a flyer on Moreland. 1-year deal. Mitch Moreland goes out there. He sort of, the Phillies had been using Brad Miller at first base. Rhys Hoskins can play first base or the outfield, or you put Rhys Hoskins at DH. Mitch Moreland, Rhys Hoskins could be a lefty-righty situation for first base. However they want to roll with it. Mitch Moreland doesn't cost a lot of money. Mitch Moreland can give you 20 homers and can be a lefty bat in that Phillies lineup. Next up, Chris Davis. I think there's really just one fit for Chris Davis. He left. He went to the Rangers. I think Chris Davis has one spot to go, and I think it's Oakland. It just feels like stay in Oakland, 1-year deal, league minimum kind of thing. You don't have to pay him a lot of money, but Chris Davis could go to Oakland, and Chris Davis could try to do something. The Oakland could be trading away a bunch of their players. Chris Davis could be a familiar face that they bring back. They've liked over the years. Feels like Chris Davis and Oakland. Apple plays thoughts on what's going to happen with Ozuna. I think somehow the Braves are going to get out of that contract, and Ozuna might be done in baseball. That's my feeling. Dan, Mitch Moreland could end up on the Jays. Possibly. The Jays need the lefty bat. Again, that'll all depend upon what happens with the trade market. What did the Blue Jays do with the trade? To get into the DH, into this DH market, the Blue Jays, they have to make a move. And they have to deal. Grichuk or Gurriel. Let's move on to Jose Martinez. Jose Martinez had some good moments with the Cardinals. Went to the Rays. I thought something was good was going to happen with him in Tampa, and it didn't. So Jose Martinez, I think, finds a job somewhere that, quite frankly, is just needing a DH, needing a bat. So Jose Martinez can go to Pittsburgh. Dan, late signing maybe? Yeah, for sure. Mitch Moreland could be a late signing, could be out there for a while. A few of these guys, right? Chris Davis could be a late signing. These are guys that you'll see signed closer to spring training in some of these instances. Pablo Sandoval, I think he retires. I think we have seen the last of Pablo Sandoval. So give me a retirement ceremony for Pablo Sandoval. I don't see any more Pablo. Why would Toronto not keep them if they did good? I'm saying Toronto will trade them for an upgrade. So if Toronto's going to trade Gurriel or Grichuk, it's to upgrade. It's essentially the Jose Ramirez. Shouldn't these guys sign fast to an AL team while spots are open if DH doesn't come to the National League? Mark, I was talking about it. I really only think that a couple of them even have jobs, period. I think if the National League doesn't adopt the DH, I don't know how many jobs there are to be had. I mean, you could say the Rangers could add a DH. I mean, if you're looking for major league jobs, The National League has to adopt the DH for most of these guys. Otherwise, they're getting minor league invitations or they're not getting touched at all. Derek Dietrich does not get a contract. Derek Dietrich is done. Jose Martinez is done. Cespedes, Encarnacion. There's no jobs for these guys if the DH doesn't come to the NL. Bam, you've got Pablo trying to get one more paycheck. He could. I think we all love the Panda, but even if the National League gets the DH, we're reaching deep for Pablo. I mean, he ends up as a bench bat leadership guy if he ends up anywhere. Bam, yes, Lourdes is definitely the player you would want to keep of the two between Grichuk and Gurriel, but that's Gurriel. That value is what helps get a deal done. If Pablo could, yeah, not even his bench bats. I don't even know if Jose Martinez is a bench bat. Moreland could be a bench bat. Derek Dietrich was with the Yankees last year. And even so, the Yankees were trading for Rougned Odor. They were trading for other lefty bats other than giving Dietrich a shot. So Dietrich doesn't have a shot. Edwin, I don't think has a shot. Edwin wants to play every day. Cespedes, he's not gonna be a bench bat. Pujols would not. I don't see Pujols being a bench bat. I think Pujols wants to try to find a regular gig. The Dodgers made sense for him because he was going for a title. So I think Pujols has to be a DH or he'll retire. There just won't be the job for him out there. Right, exactly, Apple Plays. Yes, you never know. Pablo Sandoval, hey, he carries that kind of value. Derek Dietrich. We were just talking about Dietrich. I think Derek Dietrich goes back to Miami. I think sort of a DH / infield / bench bat, coming off bench, pinch hitting. Derek Dietrich has more value if the National League has a DH. So I like Dietrich to go back to Miami, and he can be super utility, DH, bench. He's got more value with the DH in the National League. So I have Derek Dietrich going to Miami. Where do we want Edwin? Comment in the chat. Where do you predict if Edwin can get back, if he's in shape, where's Edwin going? I know we have Jays fans here. I'm one of them. Would love to see Edwin back with the Blue Jays. But it's not a clean fit right now because there has to be a move with Gurriel or Grichuk. Somebody has to be traded away to have an opportunity. Where do you see Edwin go? Where do you want Edwin to go? Comment in the chat. Give me your prediction for Edwin Encarnacion. The hockey kid likes Edwin to go back to Toronto. Daniel Wells, what about Corey Seager? We talked about Corey Seager with the shortstops. I'd like Corey Seager to either go back to LA or end up in New York. Yeah, Toronto doesn't need a DH. I'm going to put Edwin on the Cubs. I pick Edwin for the Cubs. Mark, there we go. We're right in step. It feels like a fit. You could have him DH. He could go out there. He could have a nice season. They will have a need for DH next year. Again, he needs it though. Cespedes, it has to have a DH situation. Emmanuel Cincinnati, maybe. That Cincinnati could play. Yeah, I feel like the Cubs just make sense. Lionheart, you have him retiring. He could retire. Let's talk Cespedes next. Where does Cespedes go? Gavin, Cubs make sense. Where do you want Cespedes to go? Cespedes does he go back to the Mets? Does he go somewhere where he can chase a title? If he's chasing a title, then we're narrowing the teams down to maybe the Braves or the Dodgers or the Yankees or maybe the Astros are right back in it. Sort of those teams that'll be the favorites to be in the World Series. I feel like Cespedes. Bam, I'll give you my thoughts on Verlander in just a moment. I feel like Cespedes chases the title and goes to the Dodgers. If the Dodgers are the favorite to be the title chasing team, they're going to be in the mix again for it. Cespedes to DH with the Dodgers. If the Dodgers are going to lose Chris Taylor, if they lose Seager, if they start losing some pieces, then all of a sudden, they could have a need in a DH role, and they like the versatility. So they have a righty DH and a lefty DH, and the righty DH would be Cespedes. I don't see it, and again, with the American League, the Angels can't do it because the Angels need to hold that DH spot for Ohtani, because the only time Ohtani ever plays in the field is when he comes out of a game, when he's done pitching, and they want to keep his bat in the game. Otherwise, Ohtani is the DH, so there's no room there. Giants, Jim Thompson, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, they would need it. Giants, Dodgers, Braves, sort of really, maybe the Padres, sort of the finalist teams in the National League that will be certainly hunting a title and could use somebody like Cespedes. So I'll pick Dodgers for now. Again, it feels like a long shot if he even plays, but it feels like it just feels like the fit to me, quite frankly, is it winds up something like that. Something I'm actually excited to tell you guys about. I wanted to wait a minute for everybody to get in here. Let me move the player board. Something I'm kind of excited to tell you guys about. Let me move this out of the way. All right, so I'm glad you guys are here because I want to sort of let you know. I want to let you know about a partnership. There is a sponsor for the channel. I'm happy to announce that FanDuel is officially a sponsor of the channel. That is a brand new thing, just worked out. So I'm excited about that. And sort of as a way to kind of kick that off for Thanksgiving week. So not this week. Thanksgiving week, we're going to be doing an NFL football contest. Private contest for you guys and me. That's it. If you don't have a FanDuel account, I'm going to be adding a link to the description for you guys to check out. If you do have a FanDuel account, then great. You're good. You just hop in. You just need to give me your FanDuel username. Either you can put it in the chat or you can email it to me or tweet it at me. Do whatever you want. But we're going to be doing a Thanksgiving contest. Again, if you are already signed up, you're good to go. If you are needing to get signed up, I will have a link for that in the description for you to hop in there and get signed up. But we're going to be doing the contest. It's a $5 entry. Just need your FanDuel username. I will invite you. We will be doing this. It will be the Thursday through Monday games. So it's Thursday through Monday. We're going to do our own contest. $5 entry. You let me know. We're in. It's just us. And we'll have fun, doing a FanDuel football contest on Thursday. So the custom link in the description. That's what's important. Please use that custom link in the description of the video to sign up because that is what will help the channel. Again, if you need to sign up. If you need to create an account, then you want to do that. If you already have an account, then you just let me know your account and I'll let you in. So we will do that. Now, FanDuel has the offer. If you start a new account with them, they automatically match up to 20%. Or no, they match 20% of your deposit up to $500. If you want to go crazy, you want to go all in, you want to make a big deposit, max out that match, you can do a $500 deposit. Otherwise, just deposit whatever you want, and they will match 20%. It's cool because even if you do deposit, say, $10 and they match 20% of that, they've got 50-cent games and dollar games and stuff like that. So they have I think they have free games. They have a lot of different ways to do it. I've done fantasy. I like daily fantasy because when you win, you get your winnings. You're not waiting all year long. And I think maybe my favorite part is that when you draft your team, you're drafting the players right now. You're not stuck with the crummy players that you drafted at the beginning of the season or the guys that are underperforming or the guys who are getting hurt. You just play your best matchup. You play your best guys. So I like that. So we will have that. I am going to actually, while we're talking here, I will get the link added in because I did not put the link in for this chat. So while we're talking, you guys hit me with your questions right now. The Verlander thought is what we had a question on. Let me see here. Let me do one thing. We can talk about Verlander. Let's do this real quick. That's not working. That's not where I want it to be. So Verlander. I love the Verlander deal. I think that the Astros were in need of a starting pitcher. When we looked at, if you watched the Verlander video, I looked at the salaries that were out there, pitchers that were getting salaries, thinking about the qualifying offer, thinking about everything. It felt like $25 million was going to be the amount, and that's exactly what it was. It was $25 million, which is what I expected it to be, and it was just a team that I was off on. I felt like the Yankees would get really aggressive for him. They did. We know that the Yankees were talking to Justin Verlander. Just didn't work out. And he goes to the Astros. Astros had a major need, right? The Astros had a major need to get starting pitching. If they had Justin Verlander through the World Series, things might have turned out differently for them. So it is important to get that squared away. What we learned here, we learned two things in the postseason. Bullpens are crucial, and you got to have a horse or two that you can lean on in your starting rotation, right? That's what we learned. So the Astros get that back with Justin Verlander. Kind of surprising because Ken Rosenthal was out there talking about, Kyle, what's going on, man? Ken Rosenthal was out there talking about the three teams wanting to stay in Florida, all of that, and it didn't happen, right? Ken Rosenthal yesterday morning out there saying that he preferred a team that trains in Florida and is on the East Coast, and then that just did not happen. So he got some shady information. Okay. I'm adding the link. Again, the link is in the chat, in the description for you guys to find the FanDuel. What's going on, Kyle? Welcome in. Good to see you, my friend. I hope all is well. You just missed the FanDuel announcement. FanDuel is on board and is a sponsor. They are a partner with Ballcap Sports, which I'm excited about. And because of it, we are going to be doing a Thanksgiving contest. Just the only way you get in is if you hear about it during the live streams. I'll talk about it again tomorrow, but I've got a link. I just need you guys to let me know your username, and I will invite you to the FanDuel contest. $5 entry next Thursday through Monday. So we're going to be running through the long football weekend, which would be kind of fun. Jays front office has better things to do than get into a bidding war. Verlander was using the Yanks and Jays for leverage. I think it's a fair argument. Bernie, did you see the article that came out saying the Yankees are unlikely to get one of the top prices? I didn't see that, but listen, my top 10 predictions, I did not have the Yankees. I would not be surprised about that. My top 10 free agents and predictions, I did not have the Yankees getting any of the top 10. And I took some heat for that. In the comments, Yankee fans were not happy about that. Pretty salty. But you can see how it works out. Correa linked to Detroit. You can see Simeon has a lot of suitors. You've got Seager, could go back to the Dodgers. Story, the Mariners are interested. So you can see how it all sort of plays out. You can see how it all plays out. Let's see. I'm getting a Twitter. See who just hit me. Baseball Domain hit me up on Twitter. Let's see what's going on. Starling Marte market is very hot. This is from John Heyman. He just tweeted out, Starling Marte market is very hot, so he could be that rare star player who signs a big multi-year deal in November. Let's see. Phillies, Yankees, Mets, Astros, Rangers, Marlins, and many others are in on Starling Marte. I mean, of course, I talked about it yesterday in my free agency update video. He's the best center fielder that's out there, right? He gives you speed. He gives you some pop. He's going to steal 20, 30 bases, maybe more. He's going to hit maybe 20 home runs. He plays a good center field. There are not a lot of good center field options out there, but there's a lot of need. So, yeah, totally makes sense. Yankees are, and here's the other part about that. Yankees situation is that team players use the Yankees, right? They'll use the Mets. They'll use the Dodgers. They will use the major market teams to get the offers up in Detroit or in Seattle or in Miami. They will leak information. They've got publicists and PR people and agents and friends that will put an Instagram thing out there with Carlos Correa in New York City. You don't think the front office people in Detroit see that? And they get on the phone to Carlos Correa and they're like, hey, we really want to get this deal done with you. What if we throw in an extra $5 million a year? That is why. So they'll use New York and LA to get the money up in those other markets. Yankees do want Seager, and it makes sense. It's a great fit. You can move Torres to second. The problem is, if you bring in Seager, you're probably looking at $30 million a year. You've already got two players making $30 million a year, Garrett Cole and Giancarlo Stanton. You're also going to have to give Aaron Judge a contract at some point, and he's going to be looking at $30 million a year. You can't have four players making $30 million a year. That Giancarlo Stanton contract, Yankee fans know what I'm talking about. It's killing them. That that Stanton contract is killing them. Let's see here. Again, I'll put the socials back up. Again, always, if you see something, say something. You can hit me on Twitter. Everything's a little different because my stuff is all over the place. We can move the FanDuel thing out of the way, or at least make it a little bit smaller. Let's put that down there for now. All right, so we've got Bauer. We're lucky to be anywhere next year. I still think Bauer to the Angels. I think that trade should happen. That's my opinion. I don't think the Dodgers have to, I don't think the Angels have to give up much. Let's see. SF Giants on NBC Sports. Giants are reportedly seen as a big player for Marcus Simeon in free agency. Would be a brilliant move. That would be a brilliant move for the... I got to get this right because I don't want to be... There we go. That would be a great move for the Giants if they could make that deal happen. Get into that Marcus Simeon sweepstakes? You bet. That would be great for them. I did see that, Mark. Yeah. SF Giants on NBC. See, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. That's why I want you guys, if you see something, say something. Tweet it at me. I don't follow that. I don't follow NBC Sports Giants. So I'm glad that you sent me that. Thank you for sending that over. Gavin, as Angels fan, I don't want Trevor anymore. I'm sure, that's the thing. I don't know if anybody wants Trevor Bauer right now, but he's still a good pitcher. He brings a ton of baggage. If you're desperate for pitching, let's say the Angels, they got Noah Syndergaard. If the Angels make another splash of pitcher, let's say they, one of my predictions is that they'll be in the mix for Kershaw. If they get Kershaw, then obviously there's no Bauer thing happening. But if the Angels miss out on everybody else, then Bauer could work, especially if the Dodgers take some of that money. Liam, what's going on? I'm good. How are you? Reggie, the commenter from an unnamed source. Freeman to the Warriors for Tom Brady. We're mixing sports now, Reggie. We're mixing sports. Yes, LeBron James is going to the Yankees for Saquon Barkley. Kyle, Simeon wants nothing to do with New York. I think Simeon ends up I think he ends up on the West Coast, or he ends up back with the Blue Jays. That's my feeling on Marcus Simeon. Yeah, exactly. He's not going to shave. He's not shaving. Simeon baseball domain. Simeon's not shaving to head over there. I think Robbie Ray. We're talking about the Giants for Simeon. I think the Giants will get in on Robbie Ray. I think the Blue Jays. My prediction is the Blue Jays. That's my prediction. He's on my top 10 list. I have him going there. We did the pitching video, the starting pitcher video. I have him going to Toronto. My prediction is Robbie Ray ends up back in Toronto. Angels certainly could do it. I go ham. Yeah, Angels could get in the mix. Why do you think of Correa now? What do I think of Correa now with Verlander going back to the Astros? I still think Correa, it's the Tigers. I've been saying that for a long time. I'm gonna keep saying that. Andres Cruz, the Trevor Bauer thing, he's been on administrative leave forever. Now that the season's over, he's not getting paid anymore. So it's kind of, I have a feeling that they're both probably kicking the can. The Players Association and the league are probably just kicking the can down the road until they can get things worked out with the, not the arbitration. I keep thinking it's arbitration. I got arbitration and qualifying offers on the brain with the collective bargaining. With this, they'll get that figured out after the two sides get collective bargaining figured out. What other moves do I see from Toronto this season? So I think they can get Robbie Ray. I think they. I don't know if they do any other pitching. I know Gosman has been linked, has been brought up, but I don't see Gosman because if they get Robbie Ray, it seems like overkill. I think they need to replace that production with the bat. I think they need to replace Simeon's production somehow. Now, whether it's in a trade with Cleveland, whether it is going out and being aggressive for Chris Bryant, I'd love for them to make it a third baseman, somebody that can play third base, to move Kevin Biggio back to second. I want Kevin to get his job back. I want Kevin at second. This is if Simeon goes away. I want Kevin back at second. I would like to try to find somebody that can play third base. Maybe they trade for Matt Chapman. If the A's are in the fire sale mode, maybe they can work out a deal with Chris Bryant. And we know Chris Bryant likes to play the outfield, but we'll say, look, we'll let you play the outfield, but we also need you to be our third baseman. So that I want them to do something along those lines. Let's see. I don't see a Stroman deal coming back, though. He is out. He has said on his social media that he's open to a reunion. And there is an issue there. Yeah, there is some there's just some stink with Stroman and the front office and the clubhouse and all that. It's not a clean move. Baseball Authority, good to see you in, guys. Angels need another guy to eat up innings. Big question mark around how many Syndergaard and Ohtani will be able to throw. That's a great point, Baseball Authority. Angels are not done. Angels need to get one or two more starters. Mike, you've got Simeon back with the Jays. I like Simeon back with the Jays. It could happen. Yep, we knew Brandon Bell did take the qualifying offer. He was the only one. Last minute, the deadline was yesterday at 5 Eastern, and Bell was the only one that took it. Raisel Iglesias, some people thought he might take it. He did not. JRM will cost a lot. And Stroman, yes, there's a lot of... all Stroman had to do was say that he would be open to a reunion, and then everyone ran with it. But I do think you got an issue there with Stroman and in the clubhouse. I think that it doesn't work. Mike Ennis, good call there. Yes, I believe so. Pete Walker fixed. Something was up with Barrios. He fixed that. Something was obviously wrong with Robbie Ray. He fixed that. He's got Steven Matz on track. Yes, we could almost sign anybody. The Jays could almost sign anybody to be a starting pitcher, and it's a good thing. So, don't worry about Kevin Gausman and pitching in a pitcher's park or his second half numbers. We have the pitching guru who will fix everything. Iglesias to Toronto, I don't think they need it, Baseball Domain. I'm happy. I love Jordan Romano. I don't want them to spend the money there. I want them to spend the money elsewhere. That's my feeling on that. I think I am, unlike a lot of viewers and a lot of Jays fans, I think the Blue Jays bullpen is almost set as it is with Simber and Richards and Miza and Romano, those four. Plus, I'm okay with Merriweather. I think that there's some good stuff there. So get another lefty and maybe another righty, but I don't think you need to spend a ton of money on it. I think you could be crafty, go with what you got and then do what they did last year if need be. Make the trades. Matt's as good as gone, I think. Gavin, what's going on? What do you think of Kikuchi teaming up with Ohtani? That makes sense. That'd make a ton of sense. Yep, he's out there. He did not take his option with Seattle. I think Romano will be, I'm with Kyle on that. I think Romano will be one of the best next year. I think he'll be one of the best closers in baseball next year. He was transitioning last year. Last year was supposed to be Kirby Yates as the closer. And Romano took the gig now. We don't need to worry about messing around with a closer. Chelston, and they could certainly get that. And now, I mean, the other element to this is if the Blue Jays sign Robbie Ray and they go and get another starting pitcher, let's say they bring Ray and Matz back, then you could have a spot where Pearson goes to the bullpen for a season. Chris Taylor, I feel like Chris Taylor gets somewhere around $20 million a year. He's not going to be up in that $30 million, but I think Chris Taylor's somewhere around $20 million. 19, 18, 20, 21, something like that. Bam, you want the Pen to get two high leverage guys since Charlie pulled. We need 4 innings a night at minimum. So let's think about the bullpen again. Romano's your 9th guy. Simber and Richards are sort of your 7th and 8th guys. And you got Mize can come in and get righties out. He can get the lefties out. So you've got those 4. Again, I like Merriweather. Again, I would say one high leverage guy. But again, I don't want to spend a ton of money on it. I would almost be interested in doing a trade. I mean, they got Richards for Rowdy Tellez. You know, they had a piece where that was expendable, like Rowdy Tellez was, and they turned it into something that they really needed. Could they do that again? The bullpen cost the Blue Jays the playoffs. The early half of the season performance by the bullpen did cost the Blue Jays. I mean, listen, it was one game. You could say Marcus Simeon cost them the playoffs. Do you remember the ground ball that he spiked in front of Vladdy's feet, and it would have been the 3rd out, and the game would have been over, and the Blue Jays went on and lost that game. So there was the game where they walked the bases loaded, and then they walked 4 more. I was so mad at Pete Walker after that game. Those games. So the bullpen, the bullpen did cost them. Bernie, do we see Roberto Osuna back in the big leagues in 2022? Oh, man, it's a great question. I don't know. I don't know if anybody wants to get into that business. Corey Knebel's a nice piece. I think Corey Knebel built up his value, though. I think Corey Knebel's going to be expensive, and we talked about it yesterday or 2 days ago with relief pitchers and the closers. There are more teams that need a closer than there are good closers available. I think Corey Knebel ends up getting a job as a closer somewhere. So with the Blue Jays not having a closer job available, I don't know if Knebel ends up with Toronto because of that. The walkathon, was it against Atlanta? I don't remember if that was against Atlanta. I don't remember who it was against. I just remember it was a nightmare. It was the worst. Kyle, do you remember? Bam, do you remember? Do you guys remember what game was the walkathon? It was Seattle. God, that was the worst. That was the worst. I don't regularly come on and just do an angry rant, and I think I did one after that. Bernie, I see your question, brother. I don't see Osuna back in the bigs in 2022. Seattle, they did do it against Tampa too. I do remember Tampa. They did one. They did. That's Bam's point about the bullpen. They did it. They did it a couple times. They did it against Seattle. They did it against Tampa. Jays need Matt Gray and a Ray Scherzer type. Robert, welcome in. I don't think he's done for good. I don't see it. He might be done for good. He might be done for good. I don't know. That's a good question about Osuna. Mike, how do you see next upcoming years for Vladdy and Bo? Do you see the Jays holding on? Totally. They're going to build that team around them. I think that the Blue Jays go with an arbitration year for Vladdy this year and then lock him in. They manipulated his contract to get 4 years of arbitration. So they will take advantage of 1 or 2 years of that. But then I think they should do what they did with Barrios. And when you get to that 3rd or 4th year of arbitration left, buy it out. Buy it out. Lock it in. And then Bo, I think they should do the same thing. Bo, they might wait. I don't think they can do Bo and Vladdy the same year. Maybe they do. But I could see them doing Vladdy first and then Bo. Oh, Dolis. How much? Oof, good question. I think Vladdy's a $400 million man. 15 years, $400 million, something like that. I mean, look at the Tatis contract. I think he gets a contract similar to what Tatis got. Gavin, what do you think it would take for a team to make a trade for Luis Castillo? Well, news is out today that the Reds are unlikely to trade Luis Castillo, so we don't even need to talk about that. The Reds are going to pull him off the market again, which is ridiculous. They're not going to win anytime soon. They are in another sell-off mode. So why would you not trade one of your best trade pieces? Castillo went out and went, 8-16 last year? What if he does it again? You're not going to be able to trade get much for Castillo. Carlos, what do the Dodgers do? The Dodgers are going to do it a ton. The Dodgers need to get a closer. The Dodgers need to get a couple starters. I like the Dodgers to bring back Scherzer. I think they will sign Kenley Jansen back. I think they'll get Seager back. I think the Dodgers bring back most of their guys. Kershaw probably gone. Mike Ennis, welcome to Ballcap Nation. Welcome to the Platinum membership. Thank you, Mike, for doing that, for joining the Platinum member. Anybody that is curious again about what that looks like, Platinum members is $5 a month. You get 2 exclusive Platinum member only videos. You get the badges. You get the custom emojis. So, Mike, thank you for doing that. There is also a cheaper option. There's a $2 a month option if you just want the emojis. So there's a couple options there. But Mike, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. Welcome to the Platinum Ballcap Nation. Thank you, man. I'm glad you are locked in. I appreciate that. So let's see. Sonny Gray to the Jays would be nice. Again, that would be good, but I think that'll be later. That's if they can't. If the Blue Jays don't bring Robbie Ray back, if they can't bring Steve Matz, if they miss out on Gausman, I think Gray gets traded, but it's probably you're gonna have to have some of these top free agents already signed because teams will try to make the improvement that way. And once that's no longer an option, then I can see them making a trade for Sonny Gray if they miss out. Brooks family, welcome and good to see you. I go ham. You have Nelson Cruz going to San Francisco. I do think he's going to end up in a win now situation no matter what. This is not the man cave. This is actually the dining room. This is the back of the dining room. The last few days we've been down in the new man cave that I'm building, but that is still a work in progress. But today, I was saying it earlier, the kids are home, so I got to be upstairs. I'm in the dining room today. Again, I want to remind everybody about the FanDuel partnership that is starting today. We are going to be doing our own FanDuel contest next week. It is a Ballcap Nation Thanksgiving football contest. It is only going to be us. There is a link in the description of the video if you don't have a FanDuel account to click on that. Follow that link. That's the one thing I ask you to do is to follow that link to sign up if you have not signed up. Because that is the piece, right? That's the link is that to FanDuel to sign up. It'll be a $5 contest next week, and all you got to do is sign up and then let me know your username. If you already are signed up, you are still invited to play. Obviously, it will not be exclusive to new signups. If you already have a FanDuel account, you just got to let me know your username, and I can invite you. So you can let me know your username either by DMing me on Twitter, emailing me. My email account is on the channel page in the About section, or you can post it here in the chat and let me know. And I can add you in if you want to be a part of that. Does anyone think Freeman stays with the Braves? All the way. This is a, I think, Freeman with the Braves community. I'm all about Freeman to the Braves. I don't think he goes anywhere else. I think they work that out. That 6th year, that's a sticking point. I do think they work that out. I go, hey, as much as Yankee fans think they will overspend, they're already $20 million over the luxury tax before signing anyone. It's just not going to happen. They cannot. That Stanton contract is a big problem for them. The link should be okay. So if you don't see the link in the chat, then you will just have to refresh, because I didn't put it in there. The link was not in the description at the start of the stream, but I have added it. So you just have to refresh. So the contest is going to be it's going to be a 9-player contest. I had it up. It's going to be a 9-player contest. It is a 100-person max contest, so we're capping at 100. It's a $5 entry fee. So I do believe, we can do a couple things. There's the opportunity to do winner takes all. I haven't thought about that. We could do I don't want to do winner take all. I want everybody. I want multiples to have a chance to win. I guess you know what? It's going to depend on how many people sign up. No, I can't do that. I gotta make the call before I make it go live. So we'll probably go the top 5 get prizes. That's what I'm thinking we're going to do. The top 5 get prizes. So it really just depends on how many people sign up. It's only going to be a $5 entry. Top 5 will get prizes. And so if it goes top 5 get prizes, we're looking at, I think if it fills at $100, at 100 people, we got 180 to first place, 112 to second place, 67 to third, fourth and fifth get 45. So anyway, that's the deal. So we'll have that. So you just got to let me know your username. So again, you can either sign up below, or if you're already signed up, just let me know your username and you can hop in. How old is Robbie Ray? 30. Yeah, he's still got some good years left. The other element I want to let you guys know, if you are signing up, I do want to let you guys know, take a screenshot, because here's the other thing I'm thinking about doing. If you are creating a new account for this FanDuel thing, snap a screenshot or just a photo, if you're doing it on your computer, of the verification, and then get that to me. Email it to me or tweet it to me. Because if we can get enough new accounts, we'll do a jersey giveaway. So on top of that, if we can get enough of these accounts, new accounts, if you're creating a new account and you send me the screenshot of you creating the new account, and you also have to show me that you've entered a contest, we're going to do a jersey giveaway. Ray has some good years left. Ray really does. 29, but I think he's entering his age 30 season. That's what I think he's doing. All right. So this is a little funky of a day because, like I said, we got the kids home and the whole thing. So we have lunchtime upon us. So listen, you guys, I really appreciate you being here. Mike, again, thank you for the for joining the platinum member. Steve, thank you for the super chat right off the top before we even got started. The super chat, you guys have done wonderful today. Again, in the chat, I am going to hop off because we have to do some lunch right now. So I'm going to do that. You guys, again, this has been the DH. We will be back tomorrow to talk. I think we'll probably really just kind of dive into some of the latest news, and we'll kind of do that on a Friday. We'll do a weekly recap of what's going on with the trade rumors and the free agency. All of that will probably be tomorrow's stream. So Thank you guys. Mike, Kyle, Just Me, B2TB, I Go Ham, Gavin. Let's see, who else has been in here? Vinish, Mark, I Go Ham, Brooks family. Everybody that has been in here talking and chatting recently, thank you. Again, if you haven't, hit the like on your way out. Subscribe if you're new. And again, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Have a good Thursday, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow, Friday. Unless something crazy happens, and we'll do a pop-up live stream. Other than that, have a good day, guys. Talk to you soon.